Hi, welcome to High Valley. Today I'm interviewing Vishal Motwani. Vishal is a deep learning software engineer at Salesforce and he comes from Mumbai, India. Hi Vish, how are you doing?
Hi Eugenio, I'm doing perfect. Thanks for inviting me over here.
Thank you.
I'm really honored.
Thank you for being here. So Vish, tell me, what do you do? What is your role at Salesforce?
At Salesforce, me and my team, we are working to build this voice assistant. So we have been surrounded by assistants everywhere. We have Alexa, Google Home. So this is a Salesforce voice assistant for enterprise. If you're going on a walk or if you're going to meet someone in a cafe and you have a business meeting, it's easy for you to take notes. You can talk to Salesforce and update Salesforce just using your voice. And you don't need to open a mobile phone app, or you don't need a home page or a laptop, and you don't need to go to a website to log in and update things. You can just update it using your voice.
And how was your pathway from Mumbai, India to San Francisco to Salesforce?
My career path actually includes 3 key points. What I did in Mumbai, what I did when I reached United States, that was in New York, and what I did in San Francisco when I joined Salesforce. In Mumbai, I did not go to a great university. It was just a regular engineering college. However, I made sure I'm not left behind compared to the education that is provided in major universities. I joined certain classes. These classes had connections to important startups that were coming up in Mumbai. And with that, I joined some of these startups and worked for them. At that time, my pay was also not great. In fact, most of the times I was working for free. The second important point that came along was my education in NYU in USA. Over here, also when I reached, I was not the best student. It was most of the times I was just struggling to understand even basic concepts. It was key people who are willing to help you that makes the difference.
And how did that work in Mumbai? You were in college, but you also did extra classes in another school. How that building relationships work in whether at university or in the other school?
In Mumbai, it was the same thing. It's not that someone will tell you, hey, I have a startup, please come and join and work for me. No, it won't happen that way. How you need to do is, if you don't know anything, you just learn, you gain the skills, and then find out what they need and tell them, hey, I know this, do you need some help? I'm not perfect in it, but I can try.
And what would you do in Mumbai? What kind of work? You told me before that you taught for a while.
So when I joined other coaching classes in Mumbai just to scale up, these people, they were in high demand. They taught to more than 200 students every 2 months, and that was huge. These students, not every student is the same. Some students need more help, some students need less help. I noticed that quickly, and because I have done these courses, I just asked the professor, hey, do you think I can help some of these students after class? Because not all of these students are able to do the assignments that you give. That's how I started, and before I was not being paid so greatly, but then over time, I got an entire batch to teach for myself.
Absolutely. And then, well, you finished university, you finished these extra courses, and then you decided to come to New York.
So the second key point in my career path is definitely my studies at NYU.
Mm-hmm.
When I enrolled into this program, I was not the best student. However, I had the best students around me.
Mm-hmm.
These students are from all over the globe and they are very good in what they do. So when you have to learn something, you cannot tell them, hey, teach me this. You have to put in your own effort and tell them, I reached till here, can you help me the rest of the way? And everyone will be willing to help you. No one is going to take you from 0 to 1. You need to go from 0 to 0.25 on your own.
So you did that in NYU. You also had some teaching experience at NYU.
Yes, I did have some teaching experience in NYU, and that related back to my teaching experience in Mumbai. This is how I convinced the professors. Hey, I already have taught a batch of more than 100 students. Maybe I can teach well over here. They said, do you know the content well? And yes, I knew the content well because I had help from 0 to 2.5 to 1.
Uh-huh.
My friends who were amazing at these things, they taught me everything.
So what did you teach and for how long at NYU?
I taught fundamental algorithms. I taught for over a year.
Mm-hmm.
And it was basically a teaching assistant.
And while you were studying in New York, did you do any internship or you just studied?
Yes, I did internship in Salesforce while I was studying mathematics and machine learning at NYU. And while I was doing this internship, I made key relationships with key people, which is, hey, one of the architects happened to be in my team. And you just need to maintain those key relationships. And it is because of this key relationship is where I am after 2 years. I went back to school, I continued my studies, and when I got a full-time offer, the person who interviewed me was this person who I had made key relationship with when I was an intern. So it all worked out.
Great. And did you only apply to Salesforce and then to Citybike, or did you apply to other internships? Why did you choose those two?
I did apply to many internships. In fact, I applied to more than 200 companies.
Wow, 200 in New York?
Everywhere across United States.
Okay.
Yeah. I applied to more than 200. For my first internship, it was Salesforce. For my second internship, it had to be in New York because I had to continue my studies. So the second internship I did it in Citybikes.
Mm-hmm.
The first internship was definitely in Salesforce, and I enjoyed my first internship and second internship both equally.
And then you finished your master's, you got your diploma, and you looked for a full-time job.
Before I finished my master's, I had a full-time job.
Okay. How was that?
So, as I said, I did internship at Salesforce. After doing an internship at Salesforce, I had a follow-up interview for my full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was doing the second internship, I had my full-time job that I would join after I complete my master's.
Well, I'm impressed by the amount of applications you did for interviews, for internships. Would you like to tell me more about it? How was the whole process?
I wouldn't comment on the process, but it is definitely tiring and definitely painstaking.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say if the process is good or bad. The amount, when I say 200 applications, you're shooting in the dark when you're applying for a position for an internship. You don't know that company. You don't know who will interview you. You don't know if they have already recruited a person for that position and that position is stale. Basically, you don't know anything. You're just shooting in the dark. And when you're shooting in the dark, just shoot more. You'll hit something.
But did you do many interviews or you only went to Citybike and Salesforce?
So the application to an interview call conversion is 1 in 10. Mm-hmm. If you apply for 200 companies, you will get 20 interviews.
Was the interview process as painful as the application process?
I was rejected in 8 interviews out of 10.
Did you prepare for those interviews?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's completely okay because each interview is preparing you for the next interview. Now you will not fail on the same point again. If you have committed all the mistakes, that's it. Now you cannot commit any more mistakes.
Was it frustrating to be rejected in the 18 interviews, or did you take it as part of the process and you knew that was the part of the conversion process? Because among the 20 interviews, there is also a conversion rate.
80% I did not get it. There was just 4 interviews that I was able to crack. And yes, it is frustrating. I would be lying if I say if it is not frustrating. It is. You just don't need to give up. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot be frustrated for enough amount of time because there is next thing that you need to prepare for.
What did you improve in that whole process? Was it only hard skills, soft skills? Did you learn to approach the whole interview differently?
Yes, I learned how to force the interviewer not to ask the questions I don't know. When you're giving an interview, we always think that the other person is in charge. He's asking us questions. No, you need to make him ask you the questions that you know the answer to. You don't need to give him key points. Hey, ask me about this. Because if you tell them, hey, I learned this hard skill at school, he will ask you questions on that hard skill. Do you want that? No.
So what you improved, you think, was mainly related to how to take control of the interview rather than the hard skills to show.
You need to manage his mindset to ask you the questions that you're more comfortable with.
Awesome learning. When you were at NYU, you took complex math and AI or deep learning courses.
Yes, that is correct.
So let's say there are software engineers abroad or in the United States that don't get to take those more complex courses at school, at university, but they want to learn about AI. Are there any resources? What's the best strategy, and how you showcase your learnings when you want to apply for a job?
Even though I consider NYU as a key point in my career trajectory, you can get the same career trajectory or even better without that key point. Mm-hmm. Currently, deep learning community and machine learning community in whole is completely based on open source frameworks. Everything that is being done in major companies, Google, Facebook, Apple, Salesforce, is being published. All the courses, all the content that you need is available online. Andrew Ng has this website called deeplearning.ai. He has a list of courses over there. There is another website called fast.ai where they have a list of courses. Learning from these resources is actually more impactful than even going to school. Mm-hmm. These are the best people and the pioneers in the industry who are teaching you these courses. The thing that you need to maintain is your self-motivation. When you're doing online courses, it's very easy to lose that self-motivation. And that's where the concept of universities step in, because there is a group of people that is working on a single problem together.
So if you are not the kind of person that is very disciplined and has this self-motivation on their own, you would suggest to try to build a community around you.
Yes.
If you don't have a university.
Yes. Try to do it in pairs or even 3 people together. You don't want yourself to be demotivated every single time you are given an assignment.
And Vish, what advice would you give to someone that wants to be in a position like yours, in a big company in the Silicon Valley, working with AI? What would you tell them?
My advice to everyone would be, look out for challenges. Don't take the straight path that is in front of you. Mm-hmm. I have many examples from it in my past. If I had gone on the straight path, I would haven't reached here.
That's an awesome insight. Vish, thank you very much for being here. I love hearing your story of courage, of hard work, of making relationships, and always so upbeat. Thank you very much for sharing your story.
Thank you, Eugenio. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. If you liked our channel, feel free to subscribe, to like it, or to share it. Thank you.